It's Monday, December 28th. Coming up on Chat Television, a variant of the coronavirus has been confirmed in Alberta. And what to do with your tree if the 12 days of Christmas are over at your house. Chat News at 5 starts right now.
From Medicine Hat, this is the Chat Evening News with Dan Reynish.
Good evening. Thank you for watching. Alberta is continuing to see a decline in the number of active cases of COVID-19. Today is Monday. Daily cases between Friday and yesterday were all under 1,000. But our Chief Medical Health Officer, Dr. Dina Hinshaw, warned today's part of this decline is the result of fewer people getting tested over the holidays. Sadly, there were 112 deaths reported over a 4-day Christmas period. That includes one more person from Medicine Hat. A total of 1,002 people have now died in Alberta due to the COVID-19 pandemic since it began. The number of people in hospital in our province is not declining right now. There are 878 people in hospital, 148 in the ICU. Dr. Dina Hinshaw says we are not out of the woods yet.
Following public health measures is, in part, also contributing to our decline in cases. These encouraging early trends reflect our collective actions 1 to 2 weeks ago. We must remain attentive to the orders in place and continue to follow them closely to make sure that we don't see a spike in mid-January that ignites a dangerous spread in 2021.
Right now in Medicine Hat, there are 59 active cases at this time. And the new variant of the coronavirus first seen in Britain has been detected here in Alberta. Dr. Dina Hinshaw confirmed that today and says the case was detected in a person who arrived recently from the UK. They did quarantine, and at this point, there is no evidence of further spread. BC and Ontario have also confirmed cases of the variant. This variant is considered to be much more contagious, so the federal government is facing calls to increase screening, limiting further non-essential international travel, and to speed up the rollout of the vaccine. With more, here's Abigail Beeman.
With no readily available national vaccination picture, the COVID-19 Canada Open Data Working Group built its own.
Quebec, for example, has rolled out the vaccine in just about every part of the province, if not every part of the province.
But Ontario is being criticized for cutting capacity over the holidays, concern heightened with cases of the new UK variant now in Canada.
It's not good optics to have these clinics shut down for a number of days when we're being asked to keep making significant sacrifices.
Ontario says the pandemic exacerbated staffing challenges, and it was hospitals that asked for an amended schedule. But the health minister's office tells Global News they expect to get all their initial 90,000 Pfizer doses into arms in the next several days. And in a change to their initial policy, they will no longer reserve second doses. Meanwhile, the federal health minister's office tells Global News Moderna vaccines are arriving in the Northwest Territories and Yukon Monday, 7,200 doses each. The rest of the first 168,000 doses will roll out to provinces and territories this week.
I think they have been moving too slowly, and this virus knows no borders, it knows no jurisdictions, it knows no holiday time.
Federal opposition parties are calling for more data around both vaccines and genome sequencing to find variants.
I don't understand why Canada isn't able to vaccinate at the same rate as countries like Israel or the United States. Other countries around the world, I think, are ahead of us on that. And really, the federal government needs to explain why.
Really roll out the vaccine, or vaccines now, actually, as quickly as possible.
President of global research group CFAR and a member of the federal government's vaccine task force, Dr. Alan Bernstein says we should be doing several things in the face of the new variant and be prepared for other variants, including ones that develop here in Canada.
We need to do a lot more DNA sequencing. We need to understand if there are new variants, what their properties are. We need to up our game on contact tracing.
The Liberals are defending their vaccine plan. The health minister's office telling Global News their, quote, approach is delivering, putting the onus on the provinces to get them out as fast as possible, but offering few details about how many doses are going to them and when.
Cases of COVID-19 continue to surge in both the UK and the US, We'll have those stories coming up later here on Chat News at 5. Here in Medicine Hat, fire crews in our city were called out to extinguish a house fire yesterday morning. More than a dozen firefighters attended the scene and prevented the fire from spreading to any other homes. Crews were called to a triplex in the 500C block of Maple Avenue at around 10:45. All 4 residents living inside the home and their dog managed to escape safely. According to Fire Platoon Chief Lindsay, the fire started on the stove and spread to the nearby cabinets.
The occupant was good enough to knock it down with a small extinguisher, and then when we arrived on scene, our guys knocked down the little bit of flame that was left and proceeded to make sure there was no spread into the attic space, and then ventilate the property. And then after that, we had an investigator on scene to just investigate the cause and origins.
There was no damage to the other 2 units. The Medicine Hat Fire Department says this is an important reminder to watch what you're cooking when it's on the stove. Even though the 12 days of Christmas don't officially end until January 6th, for many, once Christmas Day has come and gone, it's time to get rid of the tree. If that includes you, there are already 3 locations in Medicine Hat for you to recycle your real Christmas tree. As you can see, some hatters are already taking advantage of the drop-off locations. The locations include the Kipling Street Recycling Depot, Shamrock Recycling, and the southwest corner of the Medicine Hat Mall parking lot. It's requested you remove all plastic bags, stands, and decorations before placing your tree in the recycling pile, and you have until January 31st to drop it off. The Christmas holidays continued today, and for a group of people in our city, that meant dressing for the weather and heading outside to enjoy a hidden gem. Tiffany Goodwin met up with these hatters to hear about their love for ice fishing right here in Medicine Hat.
Nestled adjacent to College Avenue, the holes are drilled and the rods are in, and for this group of 4 friends, it's another day to go fish. Yes, fish, and it's a thing these friends have been enjoying for a while.
Well, it's always just nice to be out and just waste a couple of hours outside.
And these waters from the artificial pond produce quite the catch, according to the group, who've been calling this area their fishing spot a few times a week.
We caught 4 yesterday and 1 today.
And if you're wondering just how big these fish can get,
about 1.5 feet, 2 feet.
At this pond?
Yeah, my dad's caught in a 3-footer.
So just what is the secret to catching a good fish?
Well, it's kind of just luck when the fish just bites your hook, but I don't really know the secrets.
While the secret may not be clear as ice, ask any ice fisher and they'll tell you there can be a lot of waiting involved.
Some days it could be 5 minutes, other days it could be 5 hours.
And that means finding ways to pass the time. So what do these friends do?
Sit on our phones, joke around, just not much. Don't try to stay off our phones as much as we can, because that's all you do when you're at home, really.
Sometimes we bring our skates and we like to skate around and play hockey.
And it's the minutes to hours of waiting that these kids say can yield the biggest benefits.
It's really calming. There's no really tense. You just sit back and relax and hope a fish bites.
And when the time is right, up comes a fish to the surface. Just another product of a day spent here at the local pond. Tiffany Goodwin, Chat News.
Before we head to break, the Canadian Press named their Female Athlete of the Year today, and it's Burnaby, BC's Christine Sinclair. Canada's soccer captain is receiving the Bobby Rosenfeld Award for the 2nd time. The honor caps an all-time record-breaking year for the 2-time Olympic bronze medalist after she marked 186 overall international goals, the most of any soccer player in the world. Congratulations, Christine. Time for a break. We're back soon here on Chat News at 5.
Chat Weather, brought to you by Design Flooring Center, with you every step of the way.
Chat Weather, powered by AccuWeather.
What a lovely winter week we're going to have here in Medicine Hat. Short work week, some people not working today. Friday is New Year's Day, so lots of great opportunities to get outdoors. And wait till you see the 7-day forecast. We've got some nice stuff coming for New Year's Day, starting the new year off right. Although when it's usually -6, having a -4 is really not wrong. The -14s, everything is above the seasonal average, which is fantastic. And this record, and the record cold. Back in the year I was born, it was 43 on the minus side overnight on this day. No records are going to be broken this week. It's -4 out there right now. The wind, it'll pick up at times. I was outside this afternoon in the sunshine, and it was a beautiful winter's day, as it is winter. We're ending this year off right, I think. -4 out there, feeling like -12. By the time we get to the morning, it'll be a little bit colder than that, but winter in Alberta. Embrace it, love it, have some fun out there. Drumheller at this hour under a clear sky, -13. Yet on the other hand, Lethbridge under the cloud is 3 degrees. Whew. Cloudy and -6 in Bow Island, a mix of cloud and sky. -8 in Brooks, fairly clear in Calgary, and -4 in Edmonton, clear and -1. Saskatchewan, -14 in Leader, -12 in Saskatoon and Regina. Swift Current, -7, and Maple Creek is -3. Not a lot of precipitation over the next few days. Might see some posting south of Saskatoon and moving right up into Manitoba. In fact, yes, you will see that. Now, one thing that I'm watching, is you see all of that stuff hitting the west coast there. So there's some dark and heavy rain, some black, some oranges. We never want that. So that's going to hit the coast and it'll stay on the coast. But as you can see, there's part of it that is spilling under, part of this that's spilling into the Pacific Northwest and then joining. And there's a chance that could come toward us later in the week for possibly New Year's Eve and New Year's Day. So that's something I'll keep my eye on as the week goes on. Bottom line is temperatures much, much, much warmer as we get to the end of this year. And I'm saying much, much, much warmer than -4. So really nothing to complain about except for these overnights. So Brooks, because you're clear, -14 with the wind chill, -21, -22 tomorrow morning, warming up to -9. So you're not going to be above seasonal average. Sorry, Brooks, but wait till you see what Medicine Hat has to come. Lots of sunshine in Leader tomorrow, -12 in Maple Creek, -6 under the sunshine, clear throughout almost the entire day. Not a lot of clouds in Maple Creek tomorrow. And here in Medicine Hat, not a lot of clouds for us either. -10 in the morning, feeling like -15, maybe -16, mostly clear as the day goes on, and then plenty of sunshine and -6. That's for tomorrow. Then, oh my gosh, look at that as we head toward the end of the week. So the -5, -6 for tomorrow. Wednesday, 0, then -3, and for New Year's Day, 1 degree. Good evening, this is Chat News at 5. The United Kingdom has recorded its highest daily total of COVID-19 cases, many of them believed to be the new strain of the virus. That variant has now been detected in countries around the world, including Canada and including here in Alberta. Further measures are now being imposed in an attempt to slow the spread. Redmond Shannon reports.
Verbier, Switzerland, popular with affluent British tourists, including the likes of Prince William. But when scientists said the new UK variant of the virus may be more infectious, Swiss authorities imposed a 10-day quarantine on skiers who arrived from the UK. Reports that 200 of them escaped quarantine caused understandable outrage.
There are many indicators that show that this number is totally wrong. The first one is that we have statement from the police that all the controls they have done were done with satisfaction.
Swiss authorities don't know how many, if any, skiers broke the rules, but the story also raises questions as to why any British people were going to Switzerland when non-essential travel was being discouraged.
Infection rates in the UK are highest here in London and in surrounding areas. More than half of new infections in this region are thought to be from the new variant of the virus, and the healthcare system is creaking under the pressure.
The London Ambulance Service said that Boxing Day was one of its busiest days ever. On Monday, new daily infections in the UK passed 40,000 for the first time, although that figure includes data from the 3-day Christmas weekend. Just as it did with China, the World Health Organization is asking for the UK not to be made a pariah by other nations.
Only if countries are looking and testing effectively will you be able to pick up variants and adjust strategies to cope. We must ensure that countries are not punished for transparently sharing new scientific findings.
But South Korea is extending its travel ban from the UK after it joined the list of countries to have found their first cases of the new variant. And Japan has now banned all non-residents from travelling to the country until at least the end of January. Redmond Shannon, Double News, London.
The staggering death toll of more than 330,000 deaths in the U.S. is unmatched by any other country around the world. 1 in every 1,000 Americans has died of COVID-19. And as Jackson Prosco explains, there are fears things are going to get much worse.
California's hospitals are in critical condition, overburdened with COVID-19 patients. With zero ICU capacity left, the sick are being treated in parking lots and cafeterias.
It feels like we are working hard every day trying to save lives, and it's just falling on deaf ears. We will take care of you. We'll find places. We'll put you in hallways. We'll put you in conference rooms.
The next step may be to start rationing care based on who is most likely to survive.
We might be days away from that. People that are returning from the Christmas holiday are going to start feeling ill in the next few days.
Holiday travel risks creating a viral wildfire. 1.2 million travelers passed through U.S. airports on Sunday alone, the highest number since the start of the pandemic, at a time when the virus is everywhere.
As we get into the next few weeks, it might actually get worse.
December was the deadliest month of the pandemic in the U.S. January could be even worse. And there are fears that a new, more contagious variant of the virus detected in the U.K. is circulating unchecked on American soil.
I do think it's probably here. We don't know. We're not monitoring for it in the way that the UK and other countries are.
All right, here we go.
All the while, the great hope, a vaccine, is rolling out much slower than expected. The Trump administration's Operation Warp Speed had promised to deliver 20 million doses by the end of 2020, 3 days before the new year, and only 2 million people have been vaccinated.
But there's no doubt about it that things are going a little bit more slowly than we want.
Too little, too late for the thousands of dead and for the severely ill. In San Antonio, Texas, COVID-19 patient James Telshik is now waiting for a double lung transplant.
The disease will keep trying to pull you in, and you just gotta keep fighting it.
In this fight, doctors warn the toughest days are still to come. Jackson Prosco, Global News, Washington.
If you can't wait to say goodbye to 2020, you are definitely not alone. From the pandemic and politics to the violence that followed anti-racism protests and the mass killing in Nova Scotia, this has been a tough year. But there have been happy stories too, ones that show the resilience of the human spirit. Krista Gomansing takes a look back at the good news of 2020.
In 2020, windows shaped our lives. Maybe you stared out of one of yours longingly, or while out on a stroll looked up and thought, I wonder how they're coping. Even before the holidays, windows were decorated with hearts and rainbows, little public displays of affection. Clapping and cheering became a worldwide ritual. In our new touchless society, people embraced different ways to demonstrate their support. Captain Tom Moore walked into the history books, becoming the knight we didn't know we needed. The 100-year-old veteran raised more than $54 million for the National Health Service. People of all ages took on new projects and shared their adventures. From catchy, fun family performances to child versus legend drum battles to stars doing the news. Some good news, that is.
This week, a whole new curveball was presented when I fell face first through the looking glass into the what the actual heck is going on world of fan art. This one, entitled No Drugs Necessary, was a big hit with my kids.
A lot of effort has been exerted in 2020. Malala Yousafzai completed her degree at Oxford University, and a 15-year-old scientist was named Time's first Kid of the Year.
It's so crazy to wake up and see your face all over the internet and your face on the cover of Time, that one magazine you've been reading for years. But I think that Really what it means is I'm representing all the young scientists out there and all the young innovators who do want to make change in this world.
The desire for change has been strong. It was written on the streets and voted into office. Some major milestones worthy of celebration were underreported. In March, Luxembourg became the first country in the world to abolish fees for public transit. In November, MPs in Scotland unanimously passed legislation requiring all regions to make period products free to those in need. And in August, Africa was declared free of wild polio. Global gains reached new heights.
Go NASA, go SpaceX, Godspeed, Bob and Doug.
NASA and SpaceX launched a privately built rocket into orbit with astronauts on board.
We would like to welcome you aboard Capsule Endeavour.
12 months of life-changing, historic achievements, and one major one getting in right under the wire. Less than a year after we learned about the novel coronavirus, the creation of a vaccine against COVID-19 is some pretty good news. Even better than the pandas in Hong Kong who broke their 10-year-long dry spell.
I told you there were public displays of affection. As we get set to ring in 2021, let's hope we can decorate our windows for fun and not necessity. Crystal Gamansing, Global News, London.
And that's Chat News at 5 for tonight. I'm Dan Reynish. Back tomorrow at noon and 5 with the latest. Thanks for choosing Chat.